On one of my previous videos, I spoke about the Chicago Bears and their lack of draft knowledge. You can watch that video that I titled Same Old Chicago Bears. And as we speak right now, the National Football League's regular season has now ended and the playoffs are about to begin. The season ended for the Chicago Bears, who did not make the playoffs. They finished with a record of 5-12. The Bears ended up the only team in their division, which is the NFC North Division. They are the only team in their division that did not make the playoffs. Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers all made the playoffs. The Bears did not. So, what did the Bears do that was different than any of the previous 3 years? Nothing. I'm saying that the answer is nothing was done different. The Bears won 6 games in 2021. They won 3 games in 2022. They won 7 games in 2023, with the primary quarterback being Justin Fields. If you go back to what I said in my last video about this situation in the Bears drafting, I spoke about a team that builds on a basis of strength on the offensive line and defensive lines. With that being said, during the Chicago Bears draft, when I stated that they needed to address the offensive line primarily, especially, and that quarterback was not a primary need at this time in their draft. They really needed to address their offensive line. Everybody in the Bears division, the reason why they're so successful to make these playoffs, they address their offensive line needs and also address their defensive line needs. If we want to look at the year in review for the Chicago Bears, the nicest thing you can say was Caleb Williams, their quarterback. I never had any complaints about Caleb Williams. I was only addressing the fact that the necessity was to line up an offensive line that can protect the quarterback, that can give you time to throw, that can block for the run. By what the Bears did by selecting Caleb Williams, it once again went to what I said, same old, same old. And what I mean by that is this. I stated in the previous video, I hate to keep repeating that over and over, but this is the purpose of the video, to show you what I was talking about at this time and how it is funneling into the same thing yet again. When we say the quarterback's not a primary need, we're saying you fill in the building blocks first. The Bears had options. The Bears at that time, they owned the first pick in the NFL draft in the first round, and they also had the 9th pick in the NFL draft. Now, as it stated at that time, I said that the Bears should have kept Justin Fields, traded the first pick, moved down to like 5, 6, or 7. This is what they did not do. And what you would have found at that number 5 pick would have been what I said was the pick of the draft. Joe Alt, offensive lineman coming out of Notre Dame, went to that number 5 spot, predicted to be one of the best offensive linemen, and he did. Joe Alt had a spectacular rookie season. He was drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers. And season's over with, he was selected to the NFL's all-rookie team, first team. Now, here's the thing that's amazing. This rookie offensive lineman only gave up 1 sack all season and only gave up 2 quarterback pressures all season. Imagine Justin Fields, Joe Alt, no pressure. Now let's go back to that first round pick when I said that they should have traded it. If you trade it, push down, get Joe Alt, now you have that other team that you traded to, you have their first round pick, and then you take from them either a second, third, or fourth round as a reason to allow them to have your number 1 pick. Meaning, if you do this year, you have 2 first round picks. Next season, you have 2 first round picks, or a first and a second. You see what I mean? Now, when we go into that 9th pick that I told you that the Bears had, your choice being to take someone like the J.C. Latham out of Alabama, if available, or some other prominent offensive lineman, pair him up or match him up with Joe Alt. That is the basing of a building block of a young team with a quarterback that would have gave someone like a Justin Fields some time to use. Okay? Now, if you would have pushed down and traded it and moved down to 15, 16, you would take that team's first round pick or their second or third. For the next 3 years, you will be loaded with first round picks, second round picks, third round picks. And this is the building blocks that happen when you're in a poor situation and you're drafted where the Bears were drafted. Your next move would be, as the season goes on, could not have been as bad as this season is now. The Bears finished with 5 wins this season. You cannot tell me that Justin Fields gave you 7 wins the previous season, that you could have did that with Justin Fields. I'm not saying the word tank, but at the same time, I'm saying the word draft positions. And what happens is you are upon the teams, some NBA teams do it as well, stockpiling draft picks. And the reason why I bring up stockpiling draft picks is because of this. If you look at those teams that I just told you within the Chicago Bears division, Detroit and Minnesota traded for the quarterbacks that got them to the playoffs this year. Green Bay, with Jordan Love, had him sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for a few years before Aaron Rodgers was shipped away and given the reins to Jordan Love. The Bears didn't do either or. They didn't trade for a quality veteran, and they continue to handcuff the younger quarterbacks that they have. When I say the same old Chicago Bears, every season you had Justin Fields, you replaced his leadership as offensive coordinator with another person, meaning that he had to learn a new system every year that he was a Chicago Bear quarterback. The Chicago Bears have now fired their head coach and their coaching staff, meaning that once Caleb Williams begins his second season next year, he'll be on his second offensive coordinator. 5 years running, the Chicago Bears have a quarterback that never had an offensive coordinator for 2 years in a row. Look what you're doing to your young talent. And then you won't even try to get a quality veteran like a number of other teams have been doing. When I'm saying stockpile and draft picks, the Bears would have a couple of number ones, a couple of number twos, maybe 3 number threes. You can take a 3 and send it to a team and get a nice veteran quarterback, as long as they're behind a protected offensive line, and giving your young quarterbacks some time to sit and learn a little, especially if you can have an offensive coordinator for more than 1 year in a row. I don't want to act like that I am anti-Chicago Bear. I am a Chicago Bear fan. I'm a Chicago fan, but I am disgusted of the process of which we continue to see the same thing happening year in and year out. The famous saying that goes, the definition of insanity is to do the same things over and over and expect different results. I'm just going to imagine that this year's Bears draft will consist of another year of not getting offensive line help. And we'll still have another year where the quarterback is running for his life. Yes, he is running for his life. So it really doesn't matter how good your quarterback plays when you can't protect him and you can't give quality lanes for your running backs. And when they do get good running backs, they don't pay them and let them go. Kent, David Montgomery, Detroit Lions, former Chicago Bears, may win a Super Bowl this year. You're probably glad it's Ecky ain't with the Bears no more, I guess. So it'll be very interesting to see if finally, the Bears have drafted quality offensive linemen that's ready to produce, and we can build from them. So I'm going to close this out for now, and I hope that you continue to follow. I hope that you'll subscribe and hit likes for me. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful and great day.